Okay, so I'm going to show some cards of Wayne Gretzky's from the 80s, starting with this checklist here of the Oilers from his rookie year. I have his rookie card a couple of times and a bunch of his second year cards, the base card, but those cards won't be in this video as they are in slabs and they are in storage. So just trying to do a little bit of a tally of how many there are here for the potential in the future of potentially selling these. There is another checklist and another checklist. And then there's the Topps NHL checklist. It's unchecked, so that's good. Nothing on that. All right, let's move on to his second year. So I'm just reaching into this monster box of cards, and I'll try to do this in an efficient way. So maybe from the top to the bottom. So I'll do the o-pee-chee ones first. All-Star, another All-Star, All-Star. Keep on going here. Some of these are cleaner than others. And then after the All-Star, there's the record breaker. So there's a bunch of these coming along here. Some of these look like they've been trimmed. Not for my part. I've bought most of these cards in collections. That one's really off-centered. There's another one. Or maybe they were just cut like that. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. There's another one. And another one. And another one. So that's the record breaker. Now we have the team leaders. So here's some more team leaders. Some of these actually have really, really nice corners and edges. The centering seems to be the issue with these cards. Okay, then we have the league leaders. We got Marcel Dion, Gretzky, and Lafleur. A bunch of those. I guess in this video, I'm really just trying to put a bunch of these cards out here to give you an idea of what the collection entails so that perhaps I could get a value on it for future possibilities. Okay, so those are the o-pee-chee ones from his second year. Again, the base card, I do have 6 of them. I think I said that they were slabbed, but they're actually raw. I haven't slabbed any of my second years. But anyway, here's the Topps ones. We have some interesting one here. See how the name is hidden? So that's unscratched. That's more desirable. But here the name is scratched off. Same thing with the record breaker card. Usually the Topps cards, for the most part, look like the o-pee-chee ones. Later on in the 80s, there are some different situations happening. Here's some unscratched ones. I mean, imagine being a kid and not scratching these. But even when you do scratch them, you get something that's barely readable, if you can see there. Okay, then we have the Dion, Lafleur, Gretzky combo. Again, a bunch of unscratched ones there. So those are the top ones. So these ones that I'm showing you, they would certainly appear in terms of grading or whatever. I found another all-star one there. They would appear to be like, I have no idea about grades. Found another all-star actually, so even more careful there. They would appear basically, I guess, to be, I don't want to speculate, but I'm PSA, could be PSA 3 to PSA 8 for most of those. Within this collection, I think that's probably where these cards would end up being. There are some really good ones, but for the most part, I don't want to speculate on a grade. I think somewhere in that range would be a safe bet. Okay, here comes the next year. So here's his third year. And we have his base card. There's a bunch of those. This is the card I think, I don't remember this card as a kid. I was a little bit old, a little bit too young for this particular year to buy cards. But I remember seeing these cards as a kid with friends and relatives that had them. This is an interesting card. It's the super action card. So I'm just going to keep on stacking them up here so you can get a count of them. And this way, I'm also kind of giving myself a mental note of how many there are for the collection. I might have to pause the video at some point to kind of keep note. So this one here, though, I probably will kind of cycle through quicker. So we have the team leaders. So I'm going to just count them out. 1, 2. So that's 5. Okay, here's another 5. And then here's another 5. And there's 5 more. One of them in there is a little bit dinged up. And then another one here. For the most part, though, the cards do seem to have decent features. Okay, so now we're going to move on to, you got to love the 80s. Gretzky had like so many cards in each set because he led the league in so many categories. So in this case, it's the assist leader, which he absolutely dominated in the 80s. So there's 5 of those. And let's just make sure here. Here's 4 more. This is a nice one. That's a nice quality one right there. And then so that makes it, I think, 10. Here's 5 more. And I believe I got 4 more. So I lost count of that, but that's how many of those there are. Furthermore, we have the scoring leader. So this is leading in points, NHL in points. So there's 5 in total. And then 5 more. Some of these are actually quite clean. And then 4 more. Perhaps I'll pick a good specimen to show you. Yeah. I think within that set, the one that you see on the screen might be one of the better ones. So there's a bunch of scoring leaders. Okay. Now, for something that Gretzky did a lot of in the 80s, he broke a lot of records. So this is one where he actually ended up breaking Esposito's record. I can't read this without my glasses, but let's see here. Gretzky, maybe you can read it later. I'll just do that and you can pause the video and read that later. So there's 1, 2, 5, 5 more, 5 more, and a few more there. Okay, let's give this video a pause, fix this in the edit. Okay, moving on to his 3rd-year tops variation. So we have here a few 3rd-year Gretzkys. These ones actually look like they're a little bit cleaner than the o-pee-chee ones, but the o-pee-chee ones are more desirable. For those that collect, they would know that that's the truth about that. So for the most part, I don't know where I got these all from, but apparently I got a lot of them. These are all actually quite good condition. I would say these are very good condition. Maybe just the centering, but they are crisp. So it's the Edmonton Oilers tops team leader. So there's 5 of them here. I think I got these in a wholesale sale. There's 5 more. There's 5 more. These are really, really, really clean cards. The centering, I would say, is the issue. I'm trying to find one. Maybe I'll find a good specimen here. That's a nice one. Here's a nice one here on top. It's pretty good. It's a little bit off center, left to right, like a 60-40 maybe, or 70-30. I can't really tell. The centering on these cards is absolutely horrid. Okay. All right, moving on now to the next year. We have Gretzky in this hunched over pose. Let's see how many points he got this year. He got, let's take a look here. This is what fascinated me as a kid. It's the points. 212. I believe that was the 2nd highest total. I think 215 was his best. But anyway, let's see how many are here. They're all decent shape. This one is off-centered, but really, really clean. Okay, so there's 3, and there's 3 more. So if you didn't have enough cards from the 80s from Gretzky, o-pee-chee did you a solid and started putting other cards called in action. So here's another different situation. We have in action. So this just shows Gretzky in action. Go figure, he's playing hockey, right? So there's 5 of those and 2 more of those. And no doubt. Gretzky broke a lot of records in the 80s, so here comes some record breakers. So which one was this? More records for Gretzky. Well, let's see here. Gretzky assisted, blah, 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 212 points, which is now a record. All right, so there's 4, 6, and 2 more makes it 8. Again, please don't mind me counting them. I'm counting them for future reference. If I run to anybody at the shows and they're like, "Oh, what's your Gretzky collection?" Maybe we can work something out. All right, here's a team leader. These seem to be used to consistent every year with the Gretzky cards in the 80s. So I got a bunch of those. Some of these are quite clean, actually. There's 5 in total. There's 5 more. And there's 5 more. And then just one more for good measure. I think I counted in this monster box. It's got 4 lanes in it. I counted, I think, around 800 cards. So that should make for a long video. Okay, here's the goal leader. So now Gretzky, of course, in this particular year had all kinds of cards. This almost took up an entire row of the monster box. So here we have the goal leader. So there's 5 of them in total. And still going on the goals here, there's 5 more. All right, I'm gonna keep that in the edit. Actually, they got interrupted by a phone call. So let's do some goal leaders here. So we have goal leaders. Here's 5 more. And one last one. So see, there's more coming. Whoops, I didn't see those. I guess he got a lot of goals. So there's a couple more to finish up. Okay, moving on to something else he did. He scored a lot of shorthanded goals. Now, currently one of my favorite players, and you might have seen it in another video, is Pettersson. And Pettersson, I believe, is leading the league in shorthanded goals at the moment with about a month to spare. So it's kind of cool because although Pettersson is not anywhere near Gretzky, I love the cerebral game that Pettersson plays, the IQ game, because Gretzky was an absolute assassin in terms of the IQ. Anyway, there's 5 more of those shorthanded goal leaders and 5 more. And wait a second, here we got 6 more actually. I got 6 more there. He actually tied, I guess, with looks like he tied with Michel Goulet of the Nordiques. And perhaps we can move on to another category that he was leading in. So I'm just counting them up here. Some of these top loaders are yellow from the 90s. Jeez. Anyway, assist leader. Again, assisting a lot of goals over his career, the most ever. So there's 5 of those in total. And then 5 more. And then 5 more. And then 5 more. And 3 more. All right, I'm running out of table room here. This should be interesting. And if you weren't bored of his leading categories, you got a couple more coming here. Can you guess the other ones that he had? So far he had goals, shorthanded goals, and assists. Well, I guess if you let in goals and you let in assists, you'd think he'd be the scoring leader. Well, that's true. But can you guess the one that's other than scoring leader? It's another goal category. It's game-winning goals. So pretty much every goal that you want to have, game-winning, shorthanded category, he's got them. So there's 5 of those. A real clutch player with goals there. There's 5 more. 5 more. It's just scary. Him and Messier on the same team in the 80s was just absolutely insane. Like 2 just absolute leaders on the ice. 5 more of those and 3 more. Okay. Now we have the scoring leader, as I hinted at before. If you lead in goals and you lead in assists, you're going to lead in game-winning goals as well. And sorry, in short and scoring category as well. So there you go. There's 5, and there's 5 more, and 2 more there. And I got this puzzle piece here. So here's some puzzle piece. I think this is from a sticker album. I don't know where it's from. Need stickers to complete your collection. Probably not going to happen now. Made in Italy. Oh yeah, Panini. Panini. Where's Panini? When I see Italy, I think of Panini. But it says Tops here. That's interesting. Interesting. Maybe it was licensed. I don't know. Anyway, let's pause the video and move on to the next one. All right, we're moving on now to the 82-83 season, or in other words, the wonderful year when Gretzky had, in my opinion, my favorite of his cards from the 80s. So this is the actual flagship card there. There's the Bane card. It is a beautiful card. Him hunched over. One of my favorite cards to look at. In fact, two of my favorite Gretzky cards are in this set. So we have here, I got 5 of these right here. These are all in decent condition. Some of these have just gorgeous corners. Centering is the issue as usual. But anyway, there's a few more. So I think that was 8 in total. Now, this, I think, was my favorite card of Gretzky's in the 80s growing up. It's this highlights card of him and Messier. Like I said earlier, these two guys together as leaders, absolute legends. So whenever I find this card or I see it at a show or something, I always scoop it up. I don't know what these are going for nowadays, but I just love this card anyway. So there's one that's actually in really good shape. It's hard to see with this camera here, but it is, and the corners are just really, really nice on the card. Okay, so there's 5 of those. Here's 5 more and 3 more. Now I want to put attention on this last version of it. I'm gonna push those guys out of the way. This card actually, I wrote down on the thing, Error and Messier. It's gonna be hard for you to see this, but maybe I can give it a shot. Do you see it there? Do you see the eye in Messier? It's really hard for me to, there, see? See the eye in the Messier, how it looks like an exclamation mark? If you look under magnification, I do believe there's like an orange dot there or something. But I have seen many of these cards, even other people's cards collectors, and I've pointed it out and asked them, and nobody's ever seen one like that. Maybe you have one too. So I put error in Messier. I wrote that a long time ago. Is it an error? I don't know. But it's a really nice card. But if I did send this one for grading, because it is in nice shape, I would love to see if the grading company would consider that type of card an error, or it's just a printing dot that happens once in a while. As you may know, Gretzky's rookie card has a very familiar, his o-pee-chee card has a very familiar printing dot on his shoulder. One of the ways you can tell that it's fake or not. Okay, team leaders. I kind of, when I put these in my collection, I put them in order of main card, team leader, all-star, and then all those records and league leader stuff. Anyway, so this card I have, there's 5 in total, including the one underneath. 5 more. 5 more. And then 1 more. Okay, I think this is the first Gretzky cards that the first year that you actually have him holding a trophy, receiving an award or a trophy on a card. So it's the Hart Trophy. It's a very classic Hart Trophy card. This card gives the nostalgia of the sticker albums. If you remember those as a kid, the sticker albums of the trophies, they were these beautiful foil trophies. So I put the nicer specimens on top here. So there should be a bunch of them to see. Anyway, I'll take this one back and start counting with you. So that's 5. And then there's a yellow top loader here, but there's 5 more. And then there's 5 more. I really like these cards, so I collected these a lot. And then there's 5 more to wrap that up. Every single card that you see here is in decent condition, except one of them, which is absolutely abused. You can see this one. Absolutely horrid. But anyway, all silliness aside. What other trophy card do you remember from this set? For those people that are having a moment of nostalgia, you remember what other trophy card he had for that year? Well, it's a very famous one because it's the one that McDavid seems to be getting a lot of nowadays. It's the Art Ross Trophy. Maybe toss in the Kucherov here or there. But yeah, the Art Ross Trophy. The Art Ross Trophy is for most points, and Gretzky did that a lot. And I got lots of them here. So there's 5 in total. There's 5 in total. I think he had 9 Art Ross trophies in a row or something. Something just absolutely obscene. And then 5 more, and 4 more. I'm not looking up the stats as I'm talking here. I wasn't planning on talking about the statistics. It's just nostalgia for me from my childhood as well. So, what record breaker card is this one for? Let's find out here. Gretzky scoring streak to 30. Okay, so he scored 30. Isn't the record for scoring streak 50 something with Gretzky, I believe? 52 or whatever? Marner got close this year as a Leaf fan. That was entertaining to watch. Didn't come close, actually. Came halfway there pretty much. So there's 5 of those. He came the closest in the past like dozen years or whatever the heck it was. At least since Crosby almost got closer than that. Okay, after that we're gonna have the scoring category. So in this case, Gretzky led the lead in goals, although he didn't have a card for that because there was no Rocket Richard trophy back then. This is basically like his Rocket Richard card. So there you go. There's 5 of those. And there's quite a few of these actually. There's 5 of those. I have 2 stacks on this table that I'm looking at. There's 5 more of them. Geez, how many are there? A little bit obsessed, eh? And then there's 3 more. Or I think it was like 23 or something. Who knows? We can always check later. Okay. Assists. Yeah, he led those. Considering if you have the goals and you have the assists, you got the Art Ross as well. So no assist trophy. That'd be interesting. They should have named the assist trophy after Gretzky if they ever have one. So here's 5 in total that you just saw. Here's 5 more. And 3 more. Okay. Well, if you led in goals and an assist, then it seems redundant to make the card, right? If you lead the goals and the assist, well, then you led in scoring. So goals plus assists is points. There you go. Most points. So there's 5 in total. And there's 5 more. And there's 3 more. All right. Gonna move on to the next here. Okay, moving on now. We have the 83-84 season. This is probably, in my opinion, the most 1980s looking card set from o-pee-chee. When you get to at least to the categories of the special cards, like the league leaders and the goal leaders and the team leaders, you're gonna see shortly how the colors look. There's your classic. These remind me of those Esso cards from up in Canada, the Esso gas station cards. Anyway, I don't know if they had something equivalent in the States or not, but yeah, there's tell us American friends if there was something like that. So there's 5 in total there, and then 4 more. These all seem to be in decent shape. Some are better centered than others. I seem to have a sticker here from somewhere, God knows where, but anyway, it looks like I must have pulled it out of a scrapbook or something. You can see the lined paper. I guess this was off the cue card I put it on. Not a good idea. So here we go. Let's see some vintage 80s color themes. So we have this beautiful pink here. That's a very 80s looking card. Record breaker. Which one did he do here? Consecutive game streak. Game scoring streak. So this is now 51 games. Here it is. That's the one that I was talking about. I thought it was 52 games, so it's 51 games. Whatever. All right, so there's 2 more. And then there's 3 and 4. Okay. All right. Moving on now, we haven't seen one of these, and I don't think we've seen one yet. Is All-Star, maybe from his second year or first? Yeah, his second year, I believe he had an All-Star card. All-Star, Étoile. Yeah, so there's 5 of those, and 4 more of those. So moving on now, we have the team leaders. So here we have Oilers, Gretzky, and I got about a dozen or so. There's 5 in total, and then 5 more. Actually, there are a dozen. I just kind of felt with my hand the thickness of the stack of slabs. You can tell when you buy stack of top loaders. You can tell how many top loaders are in your hand because if you buy a pack of them, you're usually in 25 or 100 if you buy the mega. You can kind of have a feel about how many cards or top loaders are there. Trophy cards. Well, this is interesting. It's got a little circle there. Again, very 80s kind of theme cards. Anyway, so we have here 5. This is the Art Ross trophy. 5 more of those. And a couple more. So 12 seems to be the magic number. In addition to the Art Ross trophy, like a good MVP that he is and was, he got the Hart trophy. So most valuable player as voted by. There you go. Okay, so we got 5 of those. 5 of those. And 3 of those. I don't know when the Ted Lindsay trophy started. I can't remember. It'd be a nice Google search after I do this video, but I'm not going to pause the video and look for it. Perhaps you can let me know in the chat, because I'm sure that someone watching this knows when Ted Lindsay was first, the Ted Lindsay Award was first used or given. Probably a long time. I guess I'm thinking at least to the 70s. I'm not sure. Anyway, here we have the scoring leader. So this is basically the Art Ross card. It's just another card. There you go. So 5 of those. And 5 more of those. And 4 more of those. So I am going to be at the Toronto Expo, April of 2023. I'm going to be setting up with some friends there. So if you are there, come by and say hi. And if you don't know where to find me, you'll just look for the guy with a big box full of Gretzky cards. So anyway, here we have the goal leader. So that would be like the Rocket Richard card, if that the award, I mean, if that was a thing back then. There was no Rocket Richard award, as I mentioned earlier. So there's 5 of those, 5 more of those, 5 more of those, and whoops, 1 more there. This would be kind of cool. Actually play poker with these. Imagine that these were like poker chips, but they're with top loaded cards. So like the base card's worth a certain value. It's like you're having or Pokemon War or something. Anyway, or Magic. There you go. So assist leader, which he did obviously a lot of. 5 in total there. 5 more. And 2. So there's another 12. Go figure. So I think in the other set, prior year, he didn't have the a card for this, but I'm pretty sure he led the league in power play goals. So there's a power play goal card. Power play 5 of them in total. 5 of I thought it was 12. Damn. So that's 10 in total now, and then here's 1. So it's 11. So to satisfy the OCD, maybe I should go get 1 more of those. Anyway, that's the o-pee-chee stuff. Topps started making a set this year, so that year as well. So here's the Topps equivalent. You'll see a lot of similarities in the cards actually. So here's the base card. So there's 5 of those. The Topps cards tend to have more of a darker surface on the back. So here's the base card in o-pee-chee, and I'll just take sorry, that's the Topps one. Here's the o-pee-chee one. You see how it's lighter? That's how you can tell. So at a quick glance, if you're like grabbing a stack of Gretzky cards from the 80s, you can see the darker ones being the Topps ones. So there's a bunch of base level, just as base card. Now the All-Star card. So here's 1. I will do a comparison between the o-pee-chee and the Topps one. So there's a bunch more. That's 5 in total, and that's 10 more. And then here's 3 more of those. Now I'll just put an o-pee-chee one right beside it. So o-pee-chee for Canada, you'll see has the French on it, All-Star, and then it has in French there étoile, which means star. And that's it. So from this particular year, I did find another card in this box that I have. It's by a company called Nielsen. So it's one of those like, mega ultra mass produced card of Gretzky. That's not a real signature. That's a facsimile. But anyway, I don't know even if he signs like that nowadays. Okay, let's clean these up and move on to the next year. All right, moving on now to a very nostalgic year. We have Gretzky in another Oilers uniform for the 84-85 season. Now he's just getting into the real peak of his dominance. in hockey. Like he's been dominating already for many years at this point. But here he's just in cruise control. But if you remember this card, you'll remember a classic rookie card that came out this year, worth a lot more than this one. This is just a regular base card. Lots of these made. It's the Mario Lemieux rookie. So when you see the Oilers logo up top, you know that's the Lemieux year. And with the Lemieux year becomes a lot more competition for Gretzky anyway. So there's a few more of those, a couple more, sorry. So now Gretzky, you can see the pose here. It's a goal scoring leader. He's like, look, he's playing shy. He's like, no, I didn't lead the league in goal scoring. Are you kidding me? I'm so surprised that I did that. Just kidding, obviously. So anyway, focus like a hawk every time, this guy. Okay, so there's 5 in total. And here come 5 more. All right, so he scored goals. Yes, he scored goals, and I just knocked my camera. But he also scored assists. There you go there. So there's an assist leader card. And 5 of those in total. And then 5 of those. And in a very decadent way, we have excessive amounts of Gretzky production here, because Gretzky sells. So goals plus assists equals points. So now he's also a scoring leader. Well, no doubt, because if you lead in both of those, you'll do that. So there's 4 of those. And for this particular year, I only have 1 Topps card. I remember putting this collection together and thinking to myself, you know, I just want to have one of every card that Gretzky made during the 80s. I'm not talking about some rare stickers or randomness like that. I'm more talking about the actual the cards that you get from O-pee-chee and Topps that you would go to a store and buy. No sticker albums necessarily, although I do have sticker albums. Now comes what would be arguably his most just ridiculous production year. I know that he did obviously have that goal year where he had over 90 goals. I think it was 91 goals, but 91 or 92 goals is his record. But this is his points record, 215 points. He had 212 a few years prior, or 4 years prior to this. But yeah, this card here, legend, absolute legend. And these cards are really clean. Not all of them, but many of them. I'd say most of them actually. So there's 5 of those in total, and then just an extra one on top for good measure. So now we'll move on to. I don't have as many of these cards because at this point the cards, I had so many of these cards. Like I like the older, to have more of the older ones just because they're older, right? So the more vintage it is, the better, in my opinion. So there's 5 of those, or iconic is another thing. So there's some assist leaders. So anyway, we're probably getting close to the end of the video. Here's some scoring leaders, 5 of those. We're going to enter into the dramatic time when Gretzky was traded soon. So it's kind of like you're taking a tour of his career here. So there's some more scoring leaders, some Art Ross basically cards, as far as you're concerned. Here's a few Topps ones. See the Topps and the o-pee-chee again, they look the same, but you'll see French on the o-pee-chee one, and you'll see that the Topps one's darker. See the o-pee-chee here lighter, Topps darker. Okay, so that is enough of that year. Moving on now, we're going to take a look at the next year, which is, I don't have many of this year, but this year is actually a very, from what I remember, this is a very difficult grading year for this card. If you can, at least maybe that's just my experience, but this particular card, I distinctly remember owning this card as a kid, not the specific one, but having one of these. This is probably when I really started buying a lot of hockey cards. So now we're basically in the year 1986, 87. And we're getting close to Gretzky's term, end of term with the Oilers. So there's 5 of those. I'm just going to put the one on top that I like the most. This is a parallel set. So this is another o-pee-chee card, but these are the minis. I don't think I have the other mini. I think there was 2 years they made the minis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the mini one. I guess o-pee-chee is like, hey, let's just make some more. So these are the hockey leaders cards. I just showed you the back because you're looking for in a Google search or something. Some Topps based ones. And I have a sticker. I have a NHL All-Star sticker. Not sure where that came from. Probably one of those Topps, Panini, whatever it was, sticker albums back in the day. Okay, we're moving on now to, I think one of my, I think I already said my favorite two Gretzky cards from the 80s, the one with Messier and the one in the base of that year. This would be the next card that I actually find quite interesting and iconic. It's not the, this is the o-pee-chee one. It'll be the Topps one. And here was a sad time for a lot of Canadian fans, him going to LA. But on the bright side, he did introduce a larger market to hockey and attract a larger market to hockey. Wow, I can't speak. Anyway, so there's 5 of those. And then there's 4 more of those. Oh, and I do have the mini card. So let me know in the chat. Am I missing any other mini ones? I did find it here, actually. That's the o-pee-chee mini holding the jersey. And you can tell this year really well between the o-pee-chee and the Topps cards, because the Topps card, he's holding the jersey as he's being traded and being interviewed. So there's the Gretzky with the jersey. That's the Topps one. And of course, o-pee-chee does say o-pee-chee on the card, literally. But if you want to do a quick look, I don't remember on the value, but for some reason, my memory says that the Topps one was worth more. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this, because usually the rule of thumb for me was that the o-pee-chee ones are worth more, but maybe it's the Topps one was worth more. For some reason, I remember that in the Beckett guide back in the day. And there's a couple of all-stars from the Topps set. Okay, essentially after I show you that, we're pretty much entering, if not already, depending on what you say, the junk wax era. So this will be the last thing I'll show you. This is the last Gretzky card of the 80s. There was one entering the 90s, but it's the 89-90. But that's like that's when you had like all these different sets come out, like Topps, Upper Deck, Upper Deck, Bowman, Upper Deck Stadium Club, I believe. Sorry, Top Stadium Club. Geez, I can't remember any more of these. Oh, Pro Set. Oh God, Pro Set. Remember Pro Set? Pro Set. If you don't know, for those that weren't alive back then, spending 99 cents in the early 90s, 99 cents back then, you could buy a sub for like $4 in Canada, or $5 maybe. Okay. 99 cents for a pack of Pro Set cards, which are absolutely worth dog crap right now. But anyway, let's not go there. Okay, this is a nice card. This is his first like seasoned year with the Kings. At this point, was it Calgary that won the cup, or was it Edmonton? Because I remember Lanny McDonald, that was 88, I think. And then you had Messier win the cup, demonstrating that he is the leader of leaders on the Oilers. Anyway, so there's 5 of those. I have a lot of these ones, so I bought a lot of these boxes back in the day, a lot of packs. So there's 5 more. These are all very clean. This is the year of the Joe Sakic rookie and the Theron Fleury rookie. Although there were some other minor rookies, but those are the 2 big ones that I recall. Brian Leach rookie as well. But because they were so mass produced, unless it's a PSA 10 or even a BGS 10 for that matter, it's unlikely that the value of them is that much anyway. The PSA 10 ones for the big rookies, I haven't checked lately, but I'm sure they're going to increase in value. Hey, look, after a few years, the resurgence of a trophy card for Gretzky. So we have the Hart Trophy. Geez, the Hart Trophy. So there's 5 of those. I remember this set distinctly because this is the only card that Gretzky had a trophy for. So there's 5 more, and 5 more, and 5 more. Jeez. 5 more, and 3 more. So I don't know how many that was. It's gonna end in a 3 or an 8, because as you know, I'm the random math guy and I do math. But anyway, 5 plus 5 plus 5 a bunch of times, and a 3 at the end either ends in a 5 or an 8. Sorry, a 3 or an 8. Okay, and then a highlight. So you're like, well, who had the other trophies, like the Art Rosses or whatever? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Lemieux. This was the year that Lemieux really shined. I mean, he's shined every year, but this is the year that he really shined. And then after that, it would be probably the 1990-1991 season when they went back to back. 91-92 season. So there's 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those, 5 of those, and 3 more of those. And just to wrap things up, I have a few of the tops ones, a couple tops ones here as well, just to show you that the tops and the o-pee-chee pretty much were the same in appearance. Was this one darker? Yeah, it's still darker. And I have this card here, which I guess I got at a flea market or something when I was a kid. Can you guess where that's from? Well, maybe right there, Craft Dinner. So I won't throw the pictures of the rookie card and the second year, the base cards, but if you want to see them, I'll toss them up in the future video. Just to wrap things up, I found a couple more cards in the box. I'll just show you them quickly. This is the SO card I was talking about. I just had at the top of the box for some novelty. And then I have this one here. Looks like it's Red Rooster. Please tell me where this is from. It says all these different stores on the back, but I don't know. I got that in a trade probably when I was a kid. No freaking clue where it came from. This is the last card I'll show you. And I believe I won this card at McDonald's. No, not this one. I did win one of these at McDonald's. It's like one of those oversized cards. And with, again, my opinion, the reason that the Oilers won so many cups with and without Gretzky in the 80s, Messier and Gretzky. It's like father and son almost. Look at that. Guy's twice his size almost. The Moose. Did you see that TV interview, or sorry, it was that ESPN, and it was Messier and PK Subban? I don't know what was going to happen there. I love Subban, but man, he said something. Apparently, Messier was not very amused. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, just trying to document the collection. Might as well put it on YouTube or something so that people could enjoy it as well and go back down memory lane. Thank you so much.